welcome. It's a beautiful day to be on the show today. This is the Medley Show, and my name is Tucci. It is always a pleasure to have you join us on the show, where we get to have great conversation and bring to your knowledge things that you know or may not really know about. Yes, that's what we do on the show. It's good to have you join us again. So, I'm not a polyglot, but I'm going to attempt to greet you in about 6 or 7 languages. Are you ready? Okay. So the Yoruba will say hello. Hausa will say baraka de waraka. Huh? Baraka de warhaka. Yes, that's it. Then Igbo will say no ndoma na iganinti. Idoma will say ayowa. Urobo will say wado. Ibibio will say emedio. And the Tiv language will say unsu. Did I do well? If I mentioned any of your languages, I'm sure you'll be happy. But if I didn't, don't worry, I'll get to learn that soon. That, of course, is to give you an idea of what we'll be talking about today on the Medley Show. Today, we'll be exploring the beauty of our local languages. I mean, Nigeria has over 525 languages. One nation. That means we can communicate in diverse ways, and it is so beautiful when you hear people speaking their local dialect. Even though it's beginning to seem as if it's a status symbol if you say, I can speak English, but I cannot speak my language. Today, we'll help you understand how beautiful it is to know how to speak your language and maybe some other languages, right? I'm sure you want to hear that and much more that we have for you on the show today. Of course, I have fantastic guests who will be joining me soon, but to kickstart the show today, let's go straight to a video that we put together for you. This is an American speaking Igbo and Yoruba. Watch this and we'll be right back.
So,
she'll go Yoruba.
Yeah, I'm going Yoruba. Hi, how are you? Hi.
Báwoni. Ní Yoruba, orúkọ mi ni Olúwafẹ́mi.
Olúwafẹ́mi. Ìyàwó mi ni.
Oh, ìyàwó ẹ̀.
Yes.
Oh,
Where are you from?
ọmọ America mi ni.
Yes.
Mo ti ń kọ́ Yorùbá. Mo ti ń kọ́ Yorùbá fún oṣù mẹ́ta sí ẹ̀yìn. Oṣù mẹ́ta bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
Wow, that's so awesome. Yes, I just saw the video recently. I was talking about
Ṣé o ní àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ Nigerian tó pọ̀?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ní internet àti ìdíje mo ń kọ́ ní internet pẹ̀lú olùkọ́ Nigeria olùkọ́ láti Nigeria púpọ̀ àti mo fẹ́ràn láti wá ìlú Nigerian.
Fortunately, I then overheard them speaking Igbo, which is a completely different language from Yoruba. It also happens to be an extremely complex language to learn, and I am somewhat out of practice in it. But here goes.
Egole.
Good job, man. That's how much?
Yeah. Anasu Igbo in Takeri.
Yeah, Anasu Igbo in Takeri. Speak Igbo small.
Takeri, Maka, Amam Guinea-bu best.
Because you don't know the best.
Yeah, the best mall.
Who teach you Igbo?
Enyi mekuzire Igbo. Ana manu Igbo na internet. Thanks, man.
Internet. You know Igbo na internet?
Yeah, Obuoni in Nigeria. Obuoni in Nigeria na Lagos. Anyway,
That was so amazing to see. I mean, we always have this impression that once you cross overseas, you've said goodbye to your language. I mean, this is also, this is very, very refreshing to see that it's even an American who is speaking Nigerian languages. Whereas there are some Nigerians who do not want to speak their language. Don't worry. I'm sure your perception will change by the time we're done with our conversation today. So I have my guest in the studio. My first guest is a polyglot, and from my count, he speaks about 7 to 8 languages, and he goes by the name Ehosa Idozi. He's a polyglot and a martial arts instructor. Ehosa, welcome to the show. It's good to have you join us.
Yes, thank you.
And then my second guest is Chioma Chukwudile. She's an educationist and a sociologist. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you join us.
Thank you.
So do you both speak your language? Chioma, you speak Igbo, right?
Of course.
So rate my Igbo. Rate my Igbo.
It's not even Igbo. It's Igbo.
Igbo. Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Chioma, rate my Igbo.
Okay.
You heard me greet them in Igbo.
Yeah.
So rate it on a scale of 1 to 10.
Well, I'll give you a 9, but I was
Thank you.
I was very impressed with the dialect. You said it well.
Oh, no,
That's how NTA used to do it.
Thank you. And also, I'm not sure I spoke Edo. That's an Edo name, right?
Yes, Benin to be precise.
Benin. Right. So how do you say welcome in Benin?
Welcome.
Yes.
If you are coming from somebody's...
Mm.
We have different ways to greet in Benin, actually.
Okay, so your dialect, how do you say welcome?
Welcome. Interestingly...
You're a polyglot, so
yes, I am.
hyped you on the show.
Yes, so most of the times it's Koyo.
Koyo.
Yeah, you greet people, well done most times.
Okay.
So, but we have different tribes, different areas, different homes in Edo. So there's a particular greeting for each tribe.
Okay.
So we have Layewu, which is my own particular from my
Hey,
clan.
the one I want to
yes,
hear.
So Layewu. Yes, so when you
okay,
greet
so
them.
next time I'll add it to my list, Layewu. Anyway, we're going to get into the conversation shortly. But before we do that, I want to show them another video. I mean, he is Edo, but he speaks, from our count, was 7 to 8, right?
Yeah.
So let's meet this lady from Kogi State who speaks multiple languages. I don't even know, I can't even count. But let's meet her and then we'll be right back.
My name is Bilkisu Abdullahi.
Bilkisu Abdullahi. Très bien. So how many languages do you speak?
5 languages.
Can you count them?
Igbo,
Yes.
Hausa,
Yes.
Yoruba,
Yes.
Ibira,
Yes.
and English.
Okay. And Pidgin English.
And Pidgin
6
English.
languages. So,
That's-
Kebi Mudasilu.
Oh, na not.
Na not. Ibina emititi ndi Igbo.
I be on 19 in Igbo, but one woman in a compound, I almost so muna omo ya no enyi.
Okay.
So most of time the same school kai galo.
Okay.
I nata I gubegu. So as from that primary school.
Kebi doziri muta.
Imo
Asusu Igbo. Okay.
In English, tomorrow it's only God that knows tomorrow. Nobody knows tomorrow.
Nobody knows tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay. I'm okay with you. When I see you,
Yes.
you have not lived in the East, really.
No, I have not.
Wow,
I always brought up in the midst of
in the north.
in the north.
That's awesome.
Even in Igbo language, in Igbo
Environment.
town,
Yeah,
yes.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Can I do Hausa?
Yes, Naji.
Ina kika ji Hausa in?
Changiriman Yobe. In the Naji Igbo, I wouldn't name Naji House.
Okay, daidai inda kika ji Igbo, wurin
Yes.
ma kika ji Hausa.
Yes.
Okay, da kyau. Zaki aka ba mu karin magana da harshen Hausa?
Kama Hausa suka ce ba zai yi ido ya mutu koli ya tashe shi ba. Yake zamani yanzu akwai masu painting do the painting. Mutum ya gama wanke fiska, ai dole ya fiska kuma ya koma kama da.
Haka,
So
haka.
definitely ba zai yi fiska ya mutu duk koliyanka idan ka riga ka gama wanka.
Za a gan daidai yanda
fiska ya koma inda
kike.
yake.
Gaskiyan ki gaji.
Right.
Okay. Ego Yoruba.
Gbọ́.
Ba le ṣe kọ́ Yorùbá ṣé nílẹ̀ Hausa yẹn náà lẹ ti kọ́ Yorùbá.
Rárá o, nígbà tí mo wá sí Èkó tí mo fẹ́ ọkọ mi ni.
Òkè lẹ́yìn tẹ́ ti ṣègbéyàwó lẹ́sẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń kọ́ Yorùbá.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ṣé Yorùbá rọrùn láti gbọ́ àbí ó ṣòro?
Tọ́ ó rọrùn
Fún yín.
fún mi.
Okay, so Ìgbìrà ní
Ìbìrà ni mí.
ọmọ Kogi.
Ọmọ
Ó máa ń
Kogi.
ṣe ní kàyéfì. Okay, let's switch into English. I think we have established that you speak Yoruba. The people from Kogi, they seem to be able to speak many languages. What do you think? Is that the situation?
Yes, they do, because when you come to Kogi, you find Igbo there,
Okay.
you find Hausa,
Okay.
you find Yoruba.
Okay.
So we are not the people, like, do I notice my people?
Yes.
They welcome visitors than themselves.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is Ibira for you.
Okay.
They welcome you and they always be in midst of you.
Yeah.
That is how
Well, I
interaction
think
of people.
that's true, because if you look at this, it's surrounded by 10 states.
Yes.
So there's no way they have to be. They will always find Igbo there.
Yes,
Igbo here,
yes,
Yoruba
yes.
from Ekiti, from
Most
Ondo,
languages.
They are there.
They are there.
Can you just brief the people briefly?
Yes, I can brief them. Anya nenene, anya rodo, anya lurua. Omuri osiri abai babe, ekora oyo ozoza, because 1 hour ekora enyo zo wenye wono. Ukonyo so na ha. Do ni tweraizo, do mogovo yo.
Meaning?
Good morning, good afternoon. It is good to have you people around, because and it's good for one to understand the different kind of languages, because there's no way you go, you meet with people and be very free with them. Work can take you there, and you meet someone that can help you to get job.
Okay, you just mentioned job, right?
Yeah.
So what did you study?
I studied accounting and auditing.
Okay, now how has this language you've learned helped you?
The language have helped me because there's a company that have a misunderstanding. The company, they are Lebanese, that have misunderstanding with an Hausa man. It happened, the Hausa man proved he doesn't understand the English. So a man there know I speak language. He has to invite me to the court. They have the case to take to court. So they asked me to come over there and interpret between the English and Hausa. So I did, and for me to do that, I know how much I
earned a lot of money.
Yes.
Beautiful. I mean, she's originally Igbo, but she spoke Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. Yeah, my count, yes. The three major languages that we speak in Nigeria. That's amazing. I can't even boast of speaking all, but don't ask me all the languages I can speak. Anyway, I still have my guests in the studio. I still have Chioma and Ehosa in the studio. Ehosa is a polyglot, and Chioma is a sociologist and an educationist.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Medley Show.
Thank you.
So let me start with you, Ehosa. The conversation we had before we came on the show, we were counting how many languages that you speak, and then I counted about 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Excluding foreign languages, right? So those are like the local Nigerian local languages that you can speak.
Yes.
So how many foreign languages do you speak?
For now, conveniently, I can speak German.
Okay.
So I'm working on my French and Spanish.
Right. Wait, you consciously just learned these languages?
Yeah, German. I consciously learned German.
Okay. So let me ask, what initially drew you to explore learning to speak other languages? Because I don't think you just sat down and just because people who speak those languages live around you, you pick them up. I feel like
that's what really happened.
I'm sorry, what?
People speak the language around me, so I picked it up from them.
So did you live like in those? Okay, so you speak Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, you speak Ebu, you speak Nupe,
Yeah.
you speak Igala.
Yes, a bit of Igala.
You speak I can't remember all now, but you did mention all. So you've lived around all these people.
Now where I grew up, we have different tribe of different people there.
Yeah.
So we just speak the language. I don't know if I would say it's a gift actually, but I just know that our languages are interconnected. So you hear somebody say something, for example, the Ebu language, Awa, Kaili, that's Igala, but Kaire in Ebu means how are you? Igala will say Kaide. You see that there's a little difference.
And they're from the same states now,
No,
so they may just
Ebu is in Delta State.
Oh,
Igala is
right.
in Kogi.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
So after you pass Ila, you get to Ebu.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice. Then you must really love languages, because I mean, I lived in the north. I've lived in the north all my life. I had a lot of Hausa people around me, but I don't know. I can't even proudly say
You can speak Hausa.
I understand much in Hausa. I mean, I have tried, even consciously, I've consciously tried to learn Hausa language because I actually love the language, but I have not been able to.
I think the only language that I've learned consciously is German.
Wow.
Really?
Okay,
That's good.
Choma, please help me.
Yeah.
I have tried. You're an educationist, so how does this thing work? Because I feel like it's just like saying I've been going to school and I've been trying to learn this that is not getting in. Why do you think we're not able to? Some people are not able to pick up these languages, even if they consciously try.
Okay. I'll come from the area of Gardner's. We call it Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence. People learn in different ways. There are spatial learners, There are people who are mathematically inclined. We call them the logical thinkers.
Okay.
There are people who are inclined to languages. They pick language easily. I'm just like you. No matter how I stay close to somebody who, even if maybe my husband, let me say my husband speaks another language, I'm sure I won't pick it. But you see children that they were born in that in that kind of environment. You speak English. She goes to school. She learns French. She comes home and she's speaking French because she just shows an interest.
I was very fluent in French when I was growing up. I mean, I used to represent my school in competition.
So what happened?
I don't even know how
you left it.
I don't know.
Left you. And then you see such a child in that compound. Maybe there are people who speak Hausa. She's speaking Hausa. Meanwhile, her mom has lived in that compound for the past 10 years. It's just a gifting and then interest. You know, you might be interested.
I would not agree.
The interest will drive your gifting, actually. That's what it is. So I should think that for someone like him, I don't know how he did that, except that he has a gifting to some extent.
I had a lecturer when I was in school. I know he has lived in Owerri all his life. He was born there, his school there, then he was my lecturer. But he said his Hausa is very fluent. He speaks Nupe. And he said he learned that in the space of 1 year. He speaks a lot of languages around the north. Bagi. He came to serve in Abuja during his NYC period. And then that was how he picked up these 3 languages. And even though he doesn't live here anymore, he still speaks them fluently. He doesn't have those people around him, but he still speaks it fluently. But there's this very common saying that people pick up languages. When you want to learn the language, you start from the insults.
That's Nigeria for you. That is we can be mischievous when it comes to that.
So let me ask you, Hosa, like, what were you picking up? First of all, okay, what were you picking up first? But I want you to share a memorable experience. Maybe 1 or 2 that come to mind as to how you picked up these languages, how you learned them.
I think, like I said initially, naturally. I think I've been somewhere before. I think I was in a bus. And these people just got talking about me. And I kept quiet.
Oh, I've been in that position.
So they spoke Nupe, and they were just talking and talking and talking. And by the time they were done, I just told them, Esekadegi, and they were at like, wow.
Did they say something bad?
No, I just told them, till we see again.
No, did they say something bad?
Yeah, of course they were.
Oh, wow.
So you can imagine, so that has really driven my drive, giving me a drive to really learn languages. For the German, really, what happened was I was actually going to travel to Germany. So I didn't know that the course that I picked was actually taught in German. So the condition for me to get the admission was actually to speak the language. So I have to have a B2 level German. So I had to go to, that was post-COVID. So that was what drove me into learning German. Yeah.
Okay. Shema, let me ask you this. You are an education like I've rightly established. Where does this start from? Because me, I speak Igbo very fluently. I mean, I don't just speak Igbo, I speak my dialect. I'm from Nnewi North. I speak, if I speak Igbo, people turn and they're like, where are you from? Because I'm not just speaking the central Igbo. But like I pointed out, all my life, I grew up in the north. I grew up in Jos. I've always been in the north, and there was Kano, there was Kaduna, and then I'm in Abuja now. So, but I speak Igbo. So, where's the role of the parents? Because these days, you just see a lot of children, and they don't understand, and they proudly say it, and they don't understand Igbo. I don't know how to speak my language. And then their English is not even anything to write home about. So, what role do the parents play, in helping these children? Because if we do not do this, I feel like next generation may not even know that we have languages.
Truly. You've just answered. It starts with the parents. You know, in Igbo, I am a very proud Igbo woman. So I love the nuances of the Igbo language, the adage, the proverbs, our lexicon is so wide. Where did I get it from? It's from home. Because those of us that grew up in the East, it's a thing of pride that you should know everything. They shouldn't speak tell you a proverb and explain it. Then you're a vagabond. That's what they told us in those days. So we took it as a thing of pride to learn those things. So it has to start from the home. You did not grow up in the eastern states. You grew up in the north. So how did you learn to speak Nnewi, for that matter? I'm being married by an Nnewi man.
Oh.
Nnewi North, precisely.
My
And
wife is in the studio.
I'm telling you, you need to see how, when we meet, you see how these women, when they speak, you want to speak like them, truly. So parents, it's our role to start speaking our language to our children. I always give it up to the Hausas and the Yorubas, truly. In those days, before I came up to Abuja, marriage brought me here. They'll tell you that it's only the Igbo people that will name their children Igbo, give their children Igbo names. But I came here and I saw that for the average Hausa family, Hausa is the first language. They learn their English in the school.
I don't think they give.
They don't. No, it was when I came here and I saw that we were the ones that were even naming our children Nancy, Linda, and then we were thinking that we were conk. And I saw people who took pride in their language. When I go to the market and I say Inauni, oh, you see how they appreciate you.
Yeah. That happened to me a lot in Zaria.
When I came newly, they'll think I'm Plateau. You know, many of them, they speak Hausa to me. Like today, I'm tying this. People will see me and say, Ajian. You know, and I am happy that people are taking pride in their language and they're teaching their children. I don't think there's an Hausa person that can't speak Hausa. Is there? It's like exactly. But it is for us, the Igbos and other languages, to make it a point of duty to teach our children. It is the water they drank. It will always show. The Nnewi person, when you speak your English, I know you are Nnewi. Do you understand? Not the. I'm not speaking.
You will know. If I didn't tell you today, you would know.
No, I'm sure if we had gone on, you know our she factor and you don't have it at all. Good. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that this is the water we drank. Our children should be able to speak it. Our parents should enforce it.
Okay, so I'm going to open the phone lines. The number to send your messages to, please send messages, do not call. The number to send your messages to are 091-3898-9550. Send us your messages. Tell us how many languages you can speak. You can send a phrase in your language, you know, just anything. I'll get to read it on the show. Let's just, you know, enjoy the beauty of our languages. You know, let's enjoy it. So send me your messages. I'll be looking forward to that. So Ehosa, by the way, what does your name mean?
Ehosa. The full name is Ehosa Ilonwa. God's time doesn't pass you by.
That's a whole sentence. I think I'll stop at Ehosa.
Yeah.
That works for me better. Okay, so let me ask you this. In your journey in learning these languages, how has it helped you to be able to not just communicate, build a relationship with the people who speak these languages that you know how to speak? I mean, she mentioned something that if she says Inauni, I have lots of that experience. When I was staying in Zaria, if I go to the market and I just say, I mean, I'm fair. Once you just say fair lady, you assume she's Igbo. They don't ever mistake you for Edo. The other, you just say you're Igbo or you're Edo, you know. So once I say Sanu, Yayade, now Atarubu, right? Yes. Yeah, once you say stuff like that, the man, can I do Hausa? Can I? And then the next thing, he starts giving you.
That's true.
You know, he starts trying to teach you other vocabulary so that the next time you come. So let me understand your experience with this language in building a relationship with people who are from the places that you understand their language. Yeah.
So the experience is same as what you've said. So sometimes when you no, it's common people with all language.
When you speak their
language. I think there was a time I entered a taxi and I was going to pay the guy. So I discovered he was Nupe. So I asked him, I said, are you Nupe? He looked at me. I now said, he was like, because that's actually the accent with it's not like just speaking it, you picked it up from the road. Like, I never knew that you were a Nupe person. I said, no, I'm not Nupe. I'm from Edo State. You know, so it changes the atmosphere. Sometimes the Hausas, when you're buying something and you're speaking English and they're talking and you say, Malam, and the next thing we say, Ashaka Nigerian Hausa. Do you understand? So, you hear Hausa and you are just trying to make me stress myself, you know. Our culture is really beautiful. So I think in 2007, I was coming from Maiduguri, went for Nuga Games. You know, the thing in the South, we just believe that Aboki means everybody's
So,
Aboki, you know.
Anybody from the north is Aboki.
No, anybody from, and it's insulting.
It's
So
insult.
I think we got to Bauchi, and one of the students just came down.
What is insulting for the Hausa man?
No.
Aboki
For
means
us
friend.
in the East.
Do you understand?
Yes,
So,
Aboki.
so, but the Southern people, you call somebody Aboki, you just feel like
You've insulted
Yes.
yeah, good. So, and this guy just came down from the bus and just rushed to this elderly man and was like, Aboki, how much is this thing? And the man was like, I have a child like you in the university. I'm not your Aboki. You should treat me with some respect.
Right.
So I think we need to learn more about our culture
Even
and
if
know
it's
about
one,
each other.
one or two, even if you pick one or two from these languages.
Yeah,
exactly.
because when I was learning German, I learned something from them, because the language is not just teaching you the language alone, it's teaching you their culture. And it's very important that we try to promote our culture. For example, now we are all in Abuja, we're supposed to be able to speak a bit of Gbagi.
Truly.
But that's difficult for us. Yeah, it's supposed to be something that we do in our school curriculum. It should be built.
Speaking of school curriculum, when I was living because I was in Oka for a while, when I was in the East, at a point, the governor of the state at the time started, Igbo was compulsory, the curriculum, and there was a day of the week dedicated to the Igbo language.
Okay.
So students go to school wearing cultural attire.
Yes.
So every school has their the color, and they don't just wear any Ankara fabrics. They wear those fabrics that are that once you see, you know this is an Igbo person. The ones they call
Isiago.
No, not Isiago. Muloka, Abazu. All those ones that you would know that, oh, this is an Igbo rapper. They call Abada.
Yeah.
So I think some states have started to do that. Speaking of that, let me talk to you, Chema. You teach children in schools, in the school. There is this thing, how do we eliminate the fact that, I mentioned at the beginning of the show that it's sort of, because you said when we were growing up, it's a thing of pride to know how to speak Igbo, understand the proverb, understand the adage. But today, you are a Jew person. If by Jew, I mean you're not woke if you speak your language. I mean, if you just understand the language. You need to understand English, and then you take pride in the fact that I don't understand my dialect. How do we get children to understand that our language is actually very beautiful? Because apart from the parents now, let's talk about how it can be inculcated in the schools. Okay. How do you get these children to see the beauty of our culture, of our language, rather than just, because English is borrowed. We all speak English because that's the only way that we all can communicate at the same time. So how do we get these children to see the beauty in our languages?
Okay, thank you very much. A lot is going on in the schools. I work in the private sector, so I can tell you that private schools, most of them, they try to gain an advantage over others by what they do curricular-wise. Now, when I was growing up, Igbo language was one of the means of instruction. Some of us, we were taught in Igbo. The teacher, like one of my very big role models, Obi Noraba, would say, and the teacher is speaking Igbo, teaching you. Do you understand? So, right here, I think in some of our schools where I teach, we have the clubs, the different clubs for these, we call them the Nigerian language club. So when the children go there, as much as possible, you try to speak to them in that language. After all, in the school, when you're teaching them French, when you're teaching them Spanish, you speak the language. You don't instruct them in English. So that is one of the ways. Then I want to also talk about the role of mentors. People who have amounted to so much in the society. Chinua Achebe was my first. Then Chimamanda Adichie came on the scene. You will see her, she's so woke, she's well learned, but she is so well versed in her native language. I heard she even said she teaches her daughter in her native language, that Igbo language is the child's first language. So when children look at such role models, you look good, look at you, and then you can speak the language. Some of them will want to. They will want to speak that language. I think we should keep role modeling what we want to see in our children and make it look beautiful. I am happy with the Nollywood now that we are coming back to, we have Igbo channel now. We have Yoruba channel, Hausa channel. Gradually, other languages might come on board.
Oh, proudly,
Yeah.
NTA has Igbo, Hausa, and the Yoruba languages as channels as well.
I like that.
Yeah.
So when you want to watch a movie, you can sit with your family and watch wholesome entertainment from beginning to end in Igbo if you are Igbo. You watch the same in Yoruba. There's an Hausa program, I'm not supposed to market them, but many of us who are not even Hausa, we look forward to that program. You know, they speak English, yes, but everything is built around the Hausa culture. So in between, you are learning some phrases you don't ordinarily would have had the opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
So
That's
the
amazing.
media also has a role to play in
Yeah,
this.
and that's why we're doing this. I mean, it's amazing that we still have people like you who are ensuring that these children learn these languages, because some of them don't seem interested, and we have to get them to be interested.
Yeah.
If not, we may not have languages, like I said, in the next few years. Anyway, let me take a few messages, then we can continue with our conversation. This message is without a name. It says, I speak Igbo, French, and Portugal. That's nice. Okay, this message is in Hausa. I am so sorry.
Maybe he should read it.
I am so sorry. I will not be able to read that message, because it's the only thing I can say here is Sanu Kude Aiki. Aha. I have read the message. Not complete, but I have read the message. Then I have another message. It says, yes, parents should teach their children their languages. That is the best way to preserve our languages. Thank you so much for your message. So this message is from, coming from Kebbi, but no name. It says, hello and good afternoon. My name, I'm reaching you from Kebbi State. I'm home for Hausa land. I just want to greet you with Hausa. Okay, thank you so much. I am so sorry. I may be able to say a few phrases in Hausa, but I cannot proudly say that I can read it. But your message has been communicated. Next time I'll have someone who, or maybe you would help us read the languages, right? Okay, so this one says, martial arts. Oh no, this show is not for martial arts. They're asking you to please show them some martial arts skills. And they'll be disappointed if you do not. So this program is not for, we're not exploring that side. We're exploring the polyglot part of who he is. So yeah, that's what he'll be doing here today. So good afternoon. Thanks for this topic you're considering today. We Igbo and Yoruba, have been having problems of preserving our language for a very long time. Hausa doesn't take that, so let's encourage our people to go back to our base. They have taken it lightly for so long, so our children need to also learn the language. Thank you so much and enjoy. Thank you for your message. Good day, ma'am. My name is Godfrey Ojane. I speak 5 languages. The guy in your studio just spoke my language, Ebu. I want to tell him thank you. So you see, that's amazing. I mean, there's always an excitement. I mean, if I'm in a gathering or I'm with people and I feel strange, if I hear someone speak Igbo, I suddenly become comfortable. So that is one of the things that the languages do for us. So this message says different prices are given to languages. Why? Anytime I use my Hausa accent in tomato market in Jos, I get much less price. But when I show them, once I show them I am not Hausa, isn't that wrong? Please clear my head about favoritism. It's a thing to worry about and sounds unfair. I think where it's coming from is the fact that they favor you when you speak their language. I don't think that is wrong. I think it's a good thing. Because if this works everywhere, if I get to any state, I will learn the language before I go to the market. Because it's a good thing that you want to favor your own. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Speaking, even when I speak Igbo, or maybe when my children speak Igbo to an Igbo man who wasn't expecting that they could speak Igbo, you see, he suddenly comes alive. Oh, Wada. You know, they do extra for you. Sometimes they say, okay, go. We do it everywhere. You favor your own.
Yeah, because I remember my nieces and nephews, someone came to visit, and then they were speaking Igbo to them, and she was speaking English. And I said, he said it's in Igbo. Does this one not understand Igbo? And then the child was just looking. So, but kudos to my sister, though. Most of her children understand now, but the little ones are just picking up. but most of them understand Igbo, even though it wasn't a funny ride from the beginning, but they do, because my mom makes it a point of duty, just like she did for us, to speak Igbo to all of them, which is good. So this is Ali from Funtua. He says, I would like to see full day taught in the South, not only in the North. This is interesting too. I don't think it would be a bad idea if there is
you adopt some languages.
Teach languages from the North and the Southeast, teach languages from the Southeast and the North.
That's what makes us one.
Like that,
Truly.
yeah. That would be a nice thing to see. Hello everyone, my name is Seidu Ibrahim Dederi. I appreciate the program. Kudos to the anchor and the guests for showcasing the beauty of our native languages. Besides the Hausa language, which I belong to, I can speak English and Arabic also, which I learned in school. Okay. You cannot speak English. Is there Arabic? I will give you kudos for. Okay, so let me take one more, then we can continue the conversation, yeah? This is very important to discuss. I'm usually thrilled when someone from another tribe speaks my language. Unfortunately, I can't speak it fluently. Wow. But then it's still thrilled. It's still exciting to see someone speak your language, even though, but I think it should be, we should make it a point of duty to learn your language first. I have a friend, once I show up to their house, their dad is excited that I'm around because his children can't speak Igbo and they're not interested. But I speak Igbo and I speak. So he would sit down and then he would tell me a lot of stories about my village, about this and that, because he wants to share those things with them, but he's not able to because
he can't speak the English language fluently.
There was a friend of mine who was going to get married. It was a Hausa man that wanted to marry her. The reason why that marriage didn't work may not be such a strong reason, but that was what she told me. She said, because there are some things you want to communicate in Igbo. You just want to say it in Igbo, and he's not going to pick it up. English, yeah. So she would rather just find someone that she can fluently communicate with, rather than always trying to explain herself. That happens a lot too. So let's continue. I'm going to ask you this, Choma. In schools now, how much of our languages, you've mentioned where you teach, and they have the native clubs, but the clubs are not compulsory. I don't have to join any of the clubs. I could join Rotary or join any other club.
But okay,
how important do you think it is to, I mean, we've established that it's important to, but do you think it should be compulsory to make these languages, do you think they should make these languages compulsory in our schools, so that even if these children do not want to learn them, they will learn them by force because they need the marks?
Yeah. Already, I mean, the basic education in Nigeria, for basic education from basic 1 right up to JS3, it is compulsory. You must write one Nigerian language in your BESE. That's what do they call it now, in their junior WAEC.
Well, why didn't I write French?
You did French in your time?
Yes, I didn't write English. I learned French in school.
No,
I didn't write,
you didn't write
language.
Igbo.
No,
I grew up in the East. You had to write either, well, Igbo is the major one, so everybody did Igbo. You can't say you won't write it. Okay, I think one girl she's Igbo but grew up in Lagos, so she speaks Yoruba. I think she was the only one that was exempted, so she had to write Yoruba. But right now, in all our schools, and I'm sure the government schools are more stringent on these measures, Igbo is part of the, not Igbo, sorry. Language, native language. One of our indigenous languages must be taught in school. And of course, we teach Igbo, Hausa, or Yoruba. So when it's time, you join the group you belong to. And I'm sure that the supervisory boards, when they go around, those are the things they look out for. Why is your school not offering it? Except maybe for schools that say that they are British in Nigeria or American schools, and I don't know how they deal with those schools. But once you are using our Nigerian curriculum, Nigerian language is a must.
Okay, so the conversation will continue shortly, but right now let's bring you a feature. We went to the streets and told the people that we met on the street to speak their language, interpreting a particular phrase that was given to them. And this was what we came back with. Watch this and we'll be right back.
So, Nigeria, we're a great country, huh? You should come, what do I need to say? Court. okay, Nigeria, you great country, nga, leban ba kanakan. So, lishai kill song, gasly make for better country for being aqua.
Nigeria jẹ́ ìlú tó ní òkìkí tó dẹ̀ ní ògo, and àwa èèyàn táwa bẹ́ẹ̀ jẹ́ èèyàn kan tó jẹ́ èèyàn kan pàtàkì náà àti èèyàn iyì, so ẹ jẹ́ kí a sowọ́pọ̀ ká gbé orílẹ̀-èdè wa lárugẹ láti gbédé ìpele tí ó tọ́ àti tí ó yẹ.
Nigeria ka tawo si shi saba jiri gene zanga, so barumba heme mbarabu nangu we ko dido shi sisa heme.
Let's work together to make it great.
Yes, such chawo si zo na nebe na asi ko do si so that sinenge mze heme shi se pase to ma pese yo.
Okay, so sir, what tribe is that?
I'm Tiv by tribe.
Tiv.
Yeah.
From
Nigeria ado ikamba irong. Yang nyere baket inam yang popun. Nigeria.
Country ange Kana. I'm the bekete shokolo together. Ki Nigeria chugukan keti epo.
Which language is it?
Cross River, Ogoja precisely.
Okay, so Nigeria is a great country. Nigeria will never obodo. As Nigeria is a great country. Ndu Nigeria, anyị nwa ụmụ Nigeria. Anyị wụ nnekwu mmadụ. Ịghọtago? Nigeria wụ nnekwu obodo. Anyị nwa wụ ụmụ Nigeria wụ nnekwu mmadụ.
Nigeria wụ nnukwute obodo. Jupụtara uche ndị nwere amamihe. N'ọwụ ihe anyị ga-abịakọta ọnụ. Wee mee ya ma asị anyị kọma mara ọnụ ya gba ọfụfụ. Anyị bịakọta ọnụ, anyị mee Nigeria ya dị mma.
Nigeria bụ obodo siri ezigbo ike, obodo dị mma, kajara akaja, ndị nọ n'ime ya sikwa n'ezigbo ike. Anyị na-agba mbọ ka anyị bịakọta n'otu, ka anyị mee obodo anyị ka ọ bụrụ ezigbo obodo, obodo a ga-eji na-ama atụ n'ụwa niile.
Jeji faruwa don yi kinye bayi abun nona iji ganewa nan. Ba su ko zane ji gufe mulki ba ni kin babun nona yanayin yawa biya yi na ba su kwa laya da ba a lotu keminu goyi na ebe na Nigeria ya abun nona wa ya gboro luwen ya ji anyi sarai ba su kwa aliyeru nga yawa ya kinye yi yau. Alhamdulillah.
That was quite interesting to watch. I still have Chioma and Rehusa in the studio. So you guys are going to do the same thing that they did on the street. So let me see how you're going to translate that phrase. It says, Nigeria is a great country. So let's come together to make our country great, something like that. So let me hear you first, Rehusa.
What language am I starting with?
Your language. I want your language.
No, I won't be able to do that.
And you're in Polyglot?
Yes. I didn't grow up there.
But you speak it?
Yeah, I do, but not that much.
I don't even know how to feel right now.
There's no how you would feel.
Because you speak 8 other languages.
Yes.
And you don't speak yours.
Not fluently, but I understand mine very well.
Okay, so what language you want to say it in?
I think I will try with the Nupe that she just because.
No, I think you should speak Igbo because you already made someone really excited because it's for speaking their language. So say it in Igbo. Nigeria is a great country. Let's join our hands together to make it great. Yeah.
I'll prefer to do the Nupe. I wouldn't be able to do the Ebu.
Okay, go ahead, do the Nupe. I hyped you. I hyped you on this show. Okay, but go ahead.
Like I told you initially that these languages are not what I learned deliberately.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not like I sat down to really learn them.
I'm just kidding with you.
Yep. Nigeria is not the carbon. Ilagwa dodoji. Ila Nigeria uji. So
okay, I don't understand.
It's a great country, yeah?
Okay, so I don't have someone to rate it, but I'm just going to believe that you said the right thing.
Yeah.
So Trevor, let me hear you say it in Igbo.
So say it again.
Nigeria is a great country. Let's join our hands together to make it great.
Nigeria bụ oke obodo. Ka anyị chịkọta n'aka anyị ọnụ.
Nice. Thank you so much. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so I'm going to just ask you a few questions. I have tons of messages. We're going to run through them quickly. But before then, I've been wanting to ask you, what's the most fulfilling thing of being a polyglot?
Yeah, you get to understand what people are
That's
saying
like
around
the most
you.
rewarding aspect.
Yes,
The most rewarding aspect of
you
becoming
get to
a
understand what people are saying around you, so you are not lost in the crowd.
That's a very good reason. Because most times we're lost. I can't be in the midst of a baggy person and know what the person is saying. So for you, the idea is just to be able to, not just to communicate, but so that they don't sell you, Sha.
Of course.
You don't find out that they've sold you for $5 million. And
sometimes you're listening and they
you
will
just
know you're
listen and
listening.
you don't just say anything.
gossiping.
Yeah. So my challenge basically is I don't get to speak most of this language often, so that's why I'm not really too fluent with them. Yeah. So, but it's something I learned during my study in German. I think it's like a culture that you have to learn a second language in Germany.
Okay.
So they have Deutsch as Fremdsprach, that's German as a foreign language, and Deutsch as Zweitsprache, German as a second language. So you have to pick one language aside German, and this is one thing that we need to do in this country.
True.
Everybody should be able to speak at least 2 languages aside English.
But you'll be so surprised. The Gen Z, they are doing it. Everybody's going to Lingo. I don't know if you've seen the app.
To learn languages.
Duolingo.
I know how many young, like children between the ages of 12 and 21 who are learning either Spanish or the rest.
Yeah, they're doing Spanish. We want them to learn Ibibio, Efi.
So we should also create our own apps and put for them to learn, because
I think
we are looking at my problem.
We do, yes.
But for the others, I don't know.
Yes, we are looking at Gen Zs, but we are forgetting that there's a Gen Alpha that are coming up also.
The Alpha don't know anything.
And
They don't want
it's because
to know.
of the Gen Alpha that we're having this conversation. Because if we don't set these things right, they'll be worse than the Gen Z. You know, and we need to ensure that they also understand these languages. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes,
they
sir.
need to know, even if it's just how to greet there, because like you said, when you understand the language, you're open to the culture.
Yes.
You understand what happens in the culture. Anyway, so I'm going to take your final words, but not now, but let me run through a lot of the messages that I have coming in. My name is Gabriel Ojie from Kogi State. Igala by tribe. I can speak Ibira. In Ondo State, I speak Owo, Oka, Koko, Akure, Central Yoruba very well, including a little Hausa. Well done, Gabriel. That's amazing. Good day. I really enjoyed the session. I'm really enjoying the program. I encourage local language promotions, especially from homes and schools. I personally can speak 13. Wow. It encourages our local heritage. My name is Abanetuk from Calabar. Well done, Aban. That's amazing. This person says there is no name, but he says I was seriously insulted by people who thought I was from another tribe, but little did they know that I could speak 5 different languages, so I stopped them by speaking their language, and so they apologize. Even a language has helped me earn a job. That sounds like what your stories. So my mommy did not teach me Igbo, but my dad has taught me Igala. My name is Chidera. So I'm guessing her dad is Igala and her mom is Igbo. Oh, intermarriages also helps people to, know how to speak more than one language.
Does it really help?
Yeah.
At the end of
I
the
have
day,
a friend
the
whose dad
parents
is
are
Urobo
insisting.
and whose mom is Urobo and the dad is Yoruba. So you always have to, the parents thought, if you're talking, the mom will insist, if you're talking to me, you speak to me in Urobo. And the dad will also insist, if you're talking to me, you speak to me in Yoruba. So now
you see the role of the parents now.
Yeah.
So I think that's my own story too. My dad is Benin, my mom is Ebu. So that's what really, but my mom speaks Benin very well. Both of them are late actually. So that's how I had that. So I grew up basically in the north.
Right.
Yeah, so I never had time to speak this language, but I understand them very well.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm from Benue State. I live in the northern part of Nigeria. I can speak Hausa, Idoma, English, and Pidgin. Oh, we can all speak Pidgin, can't we? Good afternoon to you all. I'm really enjoying your show. More grace to your elbow. My name is Atta Hosseini from Ibi local government area of Taraba State. I'm Jukun by tribe. I can speak 3 languages, Jukun, Hausa, and English. A phrase in Jukun says Sako Buni Busao, meaning well done for a great job. I hope I said that well, Atta. Thank you very much for your message. Okay, we have lots of messages. This is from Tunji from Ijebu Ode. When I was in primary school, I was taught English using Yoruba, which helped us to understand both languages. Wait,
I told you.
Yeah. Teaching them English using Yoruba.
It was the singular mode of instruction.
That's
native language.
It is
How do you teach English in Yoruba?
They did it.
No, it's good.
Because in those days, we all spoke our native language. If you were in Enugu, you were speaking Igbo. You were not speaking English. The Botis were not there that time. So when the teacher is saying, in Anuifen Nagwagi, you know what she's saying. Unlike now that we are struggling with English, they are teaching us in English yet.
For me, I'm learning Spanish with German.
I'm laughing, but I'm also going to apologize. It was the first person who sent the message in Hausa, and he says, it's very disheartening that you didn't read my message in Hausa. So I am going to try. So just so you'll be happy. So Senun kuda aiki nuna jin dadi wannan shirin.
Muna jin dadi wannan shirin.
Nuna jin dadi wannan shirin.
Muna.
Musam. Oh, I have tried. Please forgive me. I've tried. I'm sure you get the point that I'm trying. Yeah, and your message has been communicated. We get it that you're saying well done, and thank you so much for sending us your message. Yeah. So good afternoon. I'm David from Lagos. I speak Tiv language. I'm trying to learn Yoruba and Igbo. That's amazing. Documentation of languages also helps some languages at the verge of extinction. Are there any documentations of the Igbo language?
Of course. At least as we speak, I heard about that Harvard has started a course in Igbo language.
Oh, nice.
So I know that if a school as big as and prestigious as Harvard is doing it, there is documentation. Even right now, go to Aninri.
Because I've heard a lot that the Igbo language is not complete. There are some words that
you do not... The other day I watched a documentary, I was blown away. Aninri is seen to be the mother of the Igbos. Yeah. So go there. There are custodians of the Igbo culture and language there. You'll be so surprised.
Okay, amazing. Good afternoon, Danny Real from Lagos. I'm able to speak Idoma and Yoruba. I hope I tried. Yes, you tried. Good day, ma'am. I'm a proud Nigerian that speaks Yoruba, Hausa, and Fulani. My mother is Fulani and my father is Yoruba. Just what we spoke about. Good afternoon, Perpetual Chiamaka from Ebonyi State. I say lekao in my dialect. Thank you so much, Perpetua, for your message. Parents should take it as a responsibility to teach their children to speak, not just hearing, because most children hear and cannot speak. Okay, so I have tons of messages from Ezine in Enugu. She says, well done. Faith says, I speak Yoruba and French. This person says, the greatest problem is that parents... The greatest problem is our parents. No child is ashamed or uncomfortable with his or her language if the parents teach them. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm pressed for time. I may not be able to take all the messages, but I'm going to ask you this your final words, like give someone an advice, someone who wants to be like you, a polyglot. What did you do specially? What can they do to pick up so many languages? Just your final words before we end the show.
Okay. So I'll use my experience studying German.
You're going to do that for me in 30 seconds.
Yes, that's the language that I learned deliberately. So you have a lot of things online. Instead of wasting your time on social media, you can go on YouTube, go to different websites, you get materials to study. My final words to add to this, he said 30 seconds. The Koreans, when they wanted to move their culture, they were original 9 grandmasters that were sent with Taekwondo out as ambassadors. And everywhere in the world we practice Taekwondo today because of those original grandmasters. That's how they moved their culture to the whole world.
Around the world. Okay, Chima, your final words to mostly speak to children as an educator. Parents too.
Okay, my final word is to the parents. Parents, let's teach our children how to speak the Igbo our native language. I'm so sorry I keep referring to the Igbo language. A child, like one of our contributors said, does not know anything about the language unless you teach the child. It's a chip on their shoulder. So please, let's not allow our language to die.
Okay. Thank you so much, Shoma, and thanks so much, Ehosa, for coming on the show today. I'm sure you already see the beauty in our native language just by our conversations today. And just so you know, it's not just the Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba. There is Ikwere, there is Ibibio, there is Efik, there is Nupe, there are several 525 languages in Nigeria. I must say, we have a lot of languages here. So please, whatever your story is, seek to learn your language. Until I come your way again next week with another interesting topic on The Medley Show, you take care and bye for now. you.